Okay, so this is the applied theory lesson, which links to the tutorial I made for Beautiful by Bazzi. In the song, there's a chord change where it goes from F major to F minor. And I basically want to talk a bit more about that in this video and explain essentially the difference between a major and a minor chord. If you haven't seen the tutorial, I'll put a link in the screen, but it doesn't really matter if you haven't seen it. So let's get into it. As you can see, I've got the piano here. I'm going to be using this to explain because it's like 100 times easier to understand. We've got the notes laid out in a linear form, so it just makes a lot more sense. We need to understand the scale, so we're going to use the circular fifths as a reference. F is at -1, so there's one flat in the key, in the scale I should say, and the story goes battle ends and down goes Charles. So battle being the first letter in the story, B is the flat, so we're going to have F, G, A, B flat, C, D, E, and hit the octave on F. Okay, so 7 degrees of the scale, the 8th note is the octave, back to where we started. So what can we do with that scale? We can take notes from that scale and create a chord. So the formula is 1, 3, 5 equals a major chord. So let's take the first note, let's take the third note, let's take the fifth note, and there we go. The next formula will allow you to turn any major chord into a minor chord. So the formula is 1 flat 3 5. So what you do is you take the third and you flatten it. Okay, so we had F, we had A, but we're going to flatten that to A flat, and then we had C, so the fifth, and play them together. There's your F minor. Okay, so now we can look at the two chords. There's F major, and then we play F minor. Yeah, so one note, which is the third, is being flattened. And when you play this chord on your guitar, you'll see that your second finger on the G string is actually playing the A. And then when you take that finger off, the note actually moves down a semitone, a fret, into the bar, and is playing the A flat. Okay, so it's a lot harder to see on the fretboard because you just don't visualize notes. You think of shapes as a guitarist. Pianists think about notes and scales. Let's take a C, E, and G. 1, 3, 5. Take the third and flatten it. Okay, and there's your minor. You may know that you play an F sharp in the D because you see it on the high E string. So you'd have D, F sharp, and A. There's your major, and then take it to F. There's your minor. Okay, so doing that across the chords that you play on your guitar neck, it will all start to make sense. You'll be able to locate where the third is. And then when you get into sus chords, the 4 and the 2, they will make more sense because obviously the 2 is below the flat 3 and the 4 is above the third. So let's give that example on the F here. So 1, 3, 5. There's flat 3, so there's 2. Okay. The problem here is the 2 clashes with the 1. So I'd take the G outside of the octave and play 1, 5, and then 2 there. So there's a sus2, and it's called a sus2 because the third is missing, so it's kind of suspended. We don't know if it's a major or minor. So you can see now how having this information can really help you understand chord construction. Let's finish up with a more obvious example. The next type of chord you would learn would be a major 7, right? So the formula for that is 1, 3, 5, 7. So we take the first note, the third note, the fifth note, and the 7th note, which is E, play them all together, F major 7. Okay, let's keep going. The flat 7 will be F dominant 7. Okay, and then we can flatten the third to make it an F minor 7. And then look, C was the 5th, so we can flatten that to make it an F minor 7 flat 5. Yeah, and we can just keep going. I could play, let's say 1, 3, 5, 7. Look, 8. F is the 8, the octave, and G would be the 9. F major 9. Okay, then I can still flatten the third, the A flat, and make it an F minor major 9. You can see how crazy it can get, but it is really, the principles are actually really simple and really straightforward once you understand the formulas and how to apply those to scales. All right, so let's leave it there. Let's wrap it up. Hopefully it made sense. As always, if you've got any questions, leave a comment in the description. Hit me up on Instagram, and hopefully I should see you again soon. Take care.